got this passion, and it's burning deep inside of me. And this time, no, not gonna settle for anything less.
Well, we've just recently come back from our, what seems like a whirlwind trip. We went to Nashville, and I'll show you on the map. We went to Nashville, then we spent the night there at Two Rivers Campground, and then we went from there to Whispering River RV Resort in Wallen, Tennessee, just outside the Smoky Mountain National Park. And we spent several days there, had a great time, saw some surprising things. I want to show you why they call the Smoky Mountains Smoky. It's really fantastic, and it's a beautiful picture, and I hope you'll enjoy seeing it. And we saw some things that were kind of unusual. One of them I want to speak to you about. It's a display of the 10 Commandments on the side of a mountain. And then we went on down from our trip in the Smokies down to Atlanta, visited with some friends, Ron and Mary Ann Malin, had a great time with them. Then went from there down to Savannah, Georgia, and spent some time there. I think it's called Creek Fire RV Resort, and it was a wonderful place to stay. Loved going around through Savannah, seeing all the fantastic things there. I tell you what, I really enjoyed on the trolley. And Steve, hey Steve, you did a great job. I loved listening. In fact, Steve did such a great job sharing with us about Savannah, and because he grew up there, spent his whole life there other than a short stint in the Army, and I really enjoyed listening to so much so that I didn't want to get off the trolley. And when we thought about getting off and seeing some things, I said, no, if I do, I'm gonna have to get to somebody else, and I want to listen to what Steve's got to say. We had a great time. We also got a chance to see a movie being made, being directed by Clint Eastwood. They were making a movie right there right in the heart of Savannah. While we were there, Steve did a great job moving us around and around in the square where they were making the movie, until the police actually had to tell him, hey, you can't do this anymore, take off and go somewhere else. But anyway, it was a fun time on the trolley. We went down we saw things at Tybee Island. We went down to St. Simon's Island, saw some things, saw where all the rich folks used to come down and spend time, and you'll get a chance to see some of that stuff. Then after we left Savannah, we trekked on over to southern Alabama to just outside Opelika, which is just outside Auburn. They're kind of side by side there, and visited with my cousin Casey Owens and her husband Paul and Paul's family. We had a great time, enjoyed the trip, got to go out on a boat one day and just have a good time out on the lake. So we want to get you right into the video, let you see what we've got cooking. And there's one thing that wasn't very pleasant at all, and I can show you how to crack your windshield. Not a good thing. Hopefully you'll get a blessing out of this video as well. God bless.
Whispering River Resort in Wallen, Tennessee, and this is showing you part of the Whispering River. You drive along this on this little road for about a half a mile to get to the resort. So it's surrounded by wooded areas, and this little river runs alongside it.
Well, this is gorgeous down through here.
The trees are covering the roads, and there's a little stream next to us with rippling water going over the rocks, little rapids.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Park Service pavilion where they're handing out information. We're driving down Cades Cove Scenic Loop, and you can see there's lots of people here and a lot of car traffic. People are pulling over to hike and picnic. It's a beautiful area. We're following cars. We're following cars along Cades Cove Loop. It shows us some of the fields and animal habitats, and we saw a sign for bears, which brought up the question about Smokey Bear, which my husband reminded me is not Smokey the Bear, but Smokey Bear. But he lived in Jellystone National Park. Now, where's that?
Well, most of them have it pictured out west somewhere, like Yellowstone.
So it's in the Rocky Mountains?
It's a good question.
But Smokey Bear should live in Smoky Mountains, shouldn't he?
I would think so. That's my choice.
Well, another ponderable imponderable. This is the Methodist Church, built by J.D. Campbell, a blacksmith and carpenter. The original church was built in 115 days and cost $115 to build. It was later, he was one of the pastors there, and that building was later replaced in 1902 by what you're seeing here. The double doors are from the practice when men would use one side of the church and women the other. Although that didn't happen here, it was just the plan that they were able to get to build a church. The church didn't follow that custom.
Just look at that gorgeous view.
Here out in the meadow.
Yeah, we missed the picture of the wild turkey.
Yeah, we did see a wild turkey. I thought Ron was just calling me a turkey.
No. I started to gobble at him, but I'm afraid he'd answer back and I wouldn't know what he's saying.
Parkway, and you can see how very narrow the roads are. What a beautiful drive. And we're now in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park.
What's this tell us?
Valid parking tag required.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that means. You have to get a tag to park.
I think they just want you to register that you came in the forest so they don't close the gates while people are still in here at night.
It could be.
Or something like that.
That's as good as any.
The whole time we've been driving, we have been driving along this little stream with rocks and mini rapids and just beautiful little rippled areas. So we're at the Sugarland Visitor Center in the Smoky Mountain National Park. It costs $5 to park here, so it's free to drive through, but if you park, you have to have that pass displayed on your card all day. On Sugarland Visitor Center in the Smoky Mountains National Park. What'd you think?
Well, there's some cool things in there. There's some kind of movie thing or production thing, and we didn't get in on that, but there's stores and there's books and maps and some eateries that you can take home, like hot chow chow and those kinds of things, hot pepper sauce. So there's all kinds of sweatshirts, t-shirts, ball caps.
Super crowded. T-shirts are $35. Not in my budget. I wanted to take some to the grandkids, but maybe not from there. And it's really small. There's not that much to do. There are some bathrooms there, and you can get your parking pass for the day if you're going to be in the forest or in the national park all day.
Well, by the way, if you're going to get that parking pass, make sure you take your license tag number with you, because that's required. So I've got 20,000 steps in today just walking back and forth to the car, getting the tag number, walking back, getting the sticker tag to park, coming back, putting it in the car, going back. So anyways, it's a lot of walking.
Smoky Mountains. Look at the clouds covering the mountaintops, and it looks like moving smoke. You can see the road going that way and down into the valley. And it is cloudy and overcast above, but you can't tell where the cloud covering the mountains stop and where it's just mountain and sky. It's raining, just misting slightly, but I want you to see how smoky it looks as we're driving toward Clingman's Dome. Looks like you're driving into a cloud.
I wish I could have shown you some pictures from Clingman's Dome, but the day we were there, this is late June, people. We're not talking about in the middle of winter. It was 50 degrees. It was rainy, cloud covered. In fact, there was so much cloud, you couldn't see anything up there. We got all the way to the top, found a nice parking space, got out, began to walk toward the observation tower, and we decided, well, that's kind of crazy. There's no sense going up there. You can't see anything. By the way, on a clear day, I've been told, and just looking up some stats about all that, that the observation tower, you can have 360-degree views and see sometimes on a clear day over 100 miles. Well, you couldn't see 100 yards the day we were there. And plus, at 50 degrees, I realized we didn't do all our homework. We should have found out, hey man, when you go up there, you got to take a jacket even during the summer. But we were sleeveless, and it was just too miserable to make the trek up there to see nothing. So sorry. But on the way down, hey, look at the surprise we ran across. Hello, fellers.
You're blocking traffic. Are these deer or elk?
No, these are elk. I'm sorry. What a great setting for a farm right next to this beautiful river. What's the name of this?
It's the Mountain Farm Museum.
Well,
it was some John Sloan House. I got it on my phone.
Okay. Check it out.
It is the Oconaluftee Visitor Center. Okay. And this is the Farm Museum. And somewhere we're going to find an Indian village, Oconaluftee.
Cool.
Pigeon Forge in the rain. It's amazing how many things are limited that you can do in Pigeon Forge in the rain. But there's the King Kong climbing up the side of the building. What is that?
And that's
Oh, and we have the Hollywood Wax Museum in front of that.
It's like John Wayne. I don't know who the others are.
John Wayne, Elvis. Not sure, and not sure who those other two are.
Not sure who the others are.
Okay, then there's a castle back in the background. You can see a little bit of the top of. It's really hard to see. So, we have found Pigeon Forge is a place that you can spend a lot of money going to shows and going to rides and all these artificial amusements that they've created for you to do. We just wanted to come over here and eat and kind of do some errands.
Go to Walmart, that's what we wanted.
We went to Walmart. Back to our RV camp from Pigeon Forge, and this is the route our GPS is taking us on. This is barely a one-lane road, but it's two-way traffic. There's kudzu everywhere, growing up to the edge of the road, mountains and trees falling into the road just about.
I'll tell you, I'm convinced the guy from Kentucky put this road together, because they're the only people I know take a one-lane road and put a stripe down the middle of it and call it 2 lanes. That's what this is.
I think they really have had to pump the sunshine into this area, because it is so overcast with trees and foliage and all kinds of stuff.
Got there the wide spot, that was good.
Phew. Here we are at Fields of the Wood.
This is a church camp. I believe it's run by the Church of God in Christ denomination. And I believe off to the right, you'll see the 10 Commandments.
Okay, they're starting on the left here. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Starting at the very top and going the first commandment, second commandment, third commandment, fourth commandment, fifth commandment, and then 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Honor thy father and thy mother. And then over on this side, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, and thou shalt not covet. So all those are the 10 commandments. And thinking about those 10 commandments, I was thinking, you know, those are not only the laws that God had instituted in order for us to learn how to live in a proper fashion personally, but these are the laws that God established for the nation of Israel to be a holy nation, a godly nation, and they are the basis for our laws, even here in the United States, even though many people don't realize that, and they are. And the laws of God are part of our justice system, our jurisprudence system. And so when you think about the 10 Commandments, this is not just, okay, I need to live these things. It is what makes us have a great society. If you have a society that doesn't want to tell the truth, doesn't want to say what's right, always looking to take something that doesn't belong to them. I mean, just think about those kinds of things. You can't have a marriage relationship that would last, because they're all the time trying to somebody's having relations with your spouse. On and on and on. All these things are just, you cannot build a great society without having some kind of basis that says these are the things we will operate under. These are the rules, these are the laws, these are principles that we operate under. And that's the Ten Commandments. By the way, that's interesting. Just across the away from the Ten Commandments is a prayer mountain, and the Psalms of Praise they have listed all the way up that prayer mountain, step after step, which is pretty interesting. So these are some fantastic places, and this is a church camp. Obviously, kids come here, families come here, people come here to learn about the Lord and to grow. And I just thought when I saw this, I thought I gotta take people here. I gotta show them this kind of thing. This is huge, and I really, really like it.
And I see